Coming up on show 891, GM reveals the latest must-have gadgets on an EV truck, crab mode on the Hummer. Plus on the podcast today, Maserati's EV offensive, China building more EV battery factories in Europe, and why the Rivian R1T will be hitting the rally stages pretty soon. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're listening in the world. Welcome to EV News Daily for Tuesday, 15th of September. My name is Martyn Lee, and what I do is I go through every EV story I can find, multiple sources every day, and filter out just the stuff that you need, or filter in, I should say, just the stuff that you need to know about to save you time, because I know that you are snowed and busy. So here's the highlights. Well, a charity has set a new record for a trip to drive the length of the country. A couple of countries. John O'Groats to Land's End in a Tesla Model 3, rather than trying to do the famous trip from one end of the UK to the other, from the very top to the very bottom, in as few hours as possible. The challenge was instead to do it with the fewest hours of EV charging, according to motors.co.uk. The environmental charity Zero Carbon World was the organisation behind the attempt, and also Formula E racing driver Alexander Sims, alongside Tesla original Roadster owner Dean Fielding and EV specialist David Pello. The last record for the fewest hours spent charging an EV on the famous road trip from the top to the bottom of the country, well, that was set in 2015, when 3 hours, 44 minutes and 33 seconds were spent plugged in. However, this team, with I think Formula E driver Alexander Sims doing most of the driving, if not all of the driving, managed to do the 855-mile journey with just 1 hour, 31 minutes and 32 seconds dedicated to charging, along with 15 hours and 46 minutes of driving. That really is incredible. Some hypermiling going on in there as well, but almost 16 hours of driving and an hour and a half stopped of charging. Incredible. Love to see these records falling and broken, and that's amazing as well. What could have done it quicker? Well, looking at the picture of the car, it was a Model 3 Performance, so for a start, they could have used a long-range rear-wheel drive. Not that we can buy that version here, but if you can get hold of one, that would definitely be more efficient. Single motor would have gone further. And I think at times there was more than one person in the car. Had some custom mag wheels on as well. Now, they're much lighter than the stock wheels, but of course they're not the aero wheels. So, I don't know, you make your mind up the best possible way to minimise charging. And of course, maybe a Tesla Model S Raven would be good, because that's got a 100 kilowatt hour battery pack, and so I don't know, but hey, look, it's broken the record, and congratulations to the team. Headline story today, and that's GM revealing their GMC branded electric Hummer. That's going to be in a month's time, October 20th, the same day the company will begin taking customer reservations on the new vehicle. They're going to do an Apple, like Apple have done their online presentation today, in case you're interested. New watches, new iPads. But the Apple thing tends to be, and you can go online now to the website and buy one, rather than that kind of frustrating see you in a year's time that EV makers tend to do lately. Whereas GM they're doing the thing where they're going to do the reveal and then go, and by the way, reservations are open now. And so they've described it as a super truck. It's the Hummer EV, was meant to be out in May, but of course got COVIDed. And according to TechCrunch, not much known is about the Hummer EV until now. 1,000 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, and when it arrives in late 2021, so we're a year away from the car being on the road, it will have crab mode. And as I'd speculated on this podcast before, crab mode, so unlike Rivian that has 4 motors, so Rivian has a motor for each wheel. So the Rivian can do tank turns, as in the 2 left wheels can spin forwards, the 2 right wheels can spin backwards. If you're on dirt that's not going to wreck your tyres, you can do tank turns. Whereas this is not the case with the Hummer. It's got crab mode, so the front wheels turn, as you know, a steering wheel will turn the wheels left and right, but also the back wheels turn the same way. So rather than 4-wheel steering, which would be the opposite direction to get you round in a tighter turning circle, the back wheels can go the same way as the front and move the car diagonally forwards and backwards. They've called it crab mode. I can't think of a time in my life when I've ever needed one, but I don't do a lot of off-roading myself. And so if that is useful to you, then look out for the Hummer up against the Rivian and the Cybertruck. I'll pop a link to TechCrunch in the show notes if you'd like to read more. Maserati are next in the news. They plan to offer battery-powered variants of their entire portfolio by 2025, the company said today, adding that it will group its electric models under the newly created line called Folgore, I think. Not Folgore, probably it's Maserati. Folgore, which means lightning in Italian. According to Automotive News Europe, they write that by making sure all Maserati models include a battery electric version, or BEV, it tends to be a bit of a shorthand that people use for battery electric version. They say that Maserati will be unveiling a BEVolution. I'm not sure I feel that great about the phrase the BEVolution, but we'll see. It may catch on. I may steal it. And claim it as my own. But for now, Maserati are the ones saying that there is a BEVolution on the way. I'll pop a link into Automotive News Europe in the show notes. Let's talk batteries. Let's talk the Chinese and the French getting together, and the Chinese renewable energy group Envision is now eyeing France to build a battery factory to cater to the growing EV market, according to the newspaper Journal du Dimanche, which publishes on Sundays. Funnily enough, according to the website AL Circle, the company which has battery production plants already, Envision has operations in Japan, Britain, China and the US, have identified now a dozen potential sites in France for their future factory. The international director of Envision is Sylvie Auriel. The French newspaper reporting her saying that the group planned to invest hundreds of millions of euros in a new factory opening in late 2023, creating 1,000 jobs. And now Envision made their debut in the EV battery market when they bought Nissan's battery company. Used to own a company called AESC, making all the batteries for the Nissan Leafs. A couple of years ago, took a while for the deal to go through. There was a few false stop-start, but I think that's all gone through now. Mentioned Rivian earlier, and the R1T, that's the truck. The Rivian is going to participate in the Rebelle Rally. The Rebelle Rally has announced the debut of the new electric designation to include battery electric, plug-in hybrid, and traditional hybrid vehicles. Well, this year marks the 5th anniversary of the first women's off-road navigation rally in the United States. It's also the longest competition off-road navigation rally as well, says Inside EVs. Now, the Mitsubishi Outlander, that's a plug-in hybrid, by the way, that's going to compete in the crossover class for the second time. And now, the brand new Rivian R1T is going to participate. They're going to give it some testing in the real world. They're going to be competing in the 4x4 class, piloted by Emmy Hall and Rebecca Donner. They are already two-time Rebelle Rally winners. The event runs for 10 days, over 2,000 kilometers, and the terrain ranges from roads to dirt roads, trails and dunes in California and Nevada. A driver and navigator, you pilot the car using GPS checkpoints on their mobile phones. Not a race about speed, but confident driving and more about navigation. And I'll pop a link to that story in the show notes where the Rivian can be seen in the real world in a real rally. Let's talk vehicle to grid. ENGIE, the company ENGIE and Turner have presented today at Fiat Chrysler's premises in Turin at Mirafiori the pilot project of a vehicle-to-grid scheme, and when it's totally completed will become the world's biggest of its kind, according to Business Wire. Vehicle-to-grid technology enables cars to exchange energy with the power grid, basically being a massive battery available to support the grid, making them a valuable resource for national power grids and to contribute to the establishment of a more sustainable system and to represent an opportunity to optimize things like running costs of your grid, your house, your car, and as well as that, the concrete possibility of contributing to a sustainable energy system as well as storing more renewables in batteries. Well, it's happening obviously in Italy. Like I say, phase 1 is construction complete of the V2G columns. There's 32 of them to begin with in this car park. Then the 32 columns can take 64 vehicles, aimed at piloting the technology and managing the logistics of a storage area as well. By the end of next year, the V2G project will have 700 EVs connected to it. That'll be the largest facility of its kind ever built in the world. Not sure whether they're just using CHAdeMO plugs here and just stock off-the-shelf cars, or whether they're doing what other companies like Renault have done in the past. Renault made some special vehicle-to-grid Renault Zoes, so I wonder whether Fiat Chrysler are doing something back in their labs and converting some of their cars to on the Type 2 plug to be bidirectional. So we'll see. I'll look into that. Gridserve has announced multiple new partnerships. Gridserve is a UK company. They want to build what's called what they're calling electric forecourts, and they've announced new partnerships with retail, service and tech giants, and the first one is going to open later this year in Braintree. SEX, going to open in November, according to forecourttrader.co.uk. The retail partners are WH Smith's for your newspapers and magazines, Costa Coffee, the Post Office, Booths and Gourmand, alongside the charging infrastructure. Now, the chargers they're buying are the ABB chargers. They're the ones that go up to 350 kilowatts. They've also got 6 Tesla superchargers going in. The AA are going to be there. That's the rescue company. And the company, Gridserve, says they want to make EV charging simple and stress-free, as simple as using a petrol station, but with a radically improved customer experience for the modern age. The UK's first electric forecourt, like I say, in Braintree, SEX, will be the first of over 100, they say. They have been saying this for a long time, and over 100 sites will be built of these massive electric forecourts, loads of charging stations on a big area, and then a double-decker building, a 2-storey building with relaxation area and Wi-Fi and all the rest. They're going to make 100 of them over the next 5 years. Well, that's 20 a year, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, they spent most of this year building one, but that's okay. You know, got to start somewhere. But that's almost, near as damn it, that's almost 2 a month. That's opening up one of these massive sites almost once every 2 weeks. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. But they do talk a good game, and they are actually building something. So we wish them all the best. They're not like some of these companies out there that really shout a lot and have nothing to say for themselves. I've seen the pictures, and the construction work is underway now. But it is massively massively capital intensive. And so to build one is a hell of an achievement. To build 10 would be incredible. To build one every 2 weeks or so, okay, that is mega investment. We'll see. I mean, it could be there. Hitachi are behind it as well, adding some money into the pot. And inside these buildings are going to be things like lounges, Wi-Fi, high-end washrooms, a kids area, well-being area. I would absolutely use this next time I'm heading back to see the family in Norfolk. If I go anywhere, maybe I can go up the A12, maybe go Essex way, and I'll definitely, when it's open, I'll stop here, I'll give them some of my money, I'll support them. I don't mind paying a bit more for charging because it's convenience. And, if I get to take the little fella into the kids area, and you only want, for some of those charges, you want 15, 20 minutes. On my car, I need an hour or so, but because I charge a lot slower. But, if there's Wi-Fi, if there's sofas, if there's somewhere to get food, of course, that's where they make a lot of money as well in food and drink and things like that. So I'll go and support this, and I'll go spend a few quid and help them along the way. And good luck to the team there. Right, Mercedes are next, ready to roll out solid-state batteries for their city buses. Mercedes say that in general, vehicles with solid-state batteries are standard and not expected until the middle of the decade. Yeah, Toyota talking 2025 and Fisker as well. Mercedes-Benz, though, they say they're faster because the new e-Citaro is the first series production bus in anywhere in the world to be equipped with solid-state batteries, according to Autoblog. Mercedes claims it's taking the technological lead, not just in the bus segment, but in the entire automotive sector worldwide. However, we haven't seen any mention of solid-state batteries from Mercedes production road cars, and the production release of solid-state battery tech in a public transport environment is exciting, even if the capability is limited to a few buses. And actually, I couldn't find anywhere in this article, and I'm going to do some more digging, maybe on the press sites of Mercedes-Benz, what they define as solid state. Because I've seen increasingly solid-state technology, solid-state batteries that have no liquid electrolyte is a long time away. So I've kind of seen this like semi-solid technology described as solid-state, which is not that revolutionary, but clearly no one is doing it on scale at the moment. So We'll wait and see. And congratulations to the team at Mercedes. Well, that's your show for today. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, I'd love to hear from you. My email address is hello@evnewsdaily.com, and you can leave a comment on the YouTube show. Hey, thanks to our premium partners, of which I have a new name to add to the list over the next coming days. I'm very excited about. Phil Roberts of Electric Future is our premium partner. Brad Crosby, Avid Technology. Porsche of the Village in Cincinnati. Audi of Cincinnati East. Volvo Cars of Cincinnati East. NationalCarCharging.com and AlohaCharge.com for your hardware. And Derek Riley has his own EV Review Ireland YouTube channel. If you love watching car reviews, EV reviews, as much as I love watching them, then check out Derek's channel at the EV Review Ireland YouTube channel. Have a wonderful day. I'll catch you tomorrow. And remember, there's no such thing as a self-charging hybrid.